Ever since I was a kid, I was plagued by nightmares. Dark, vivid dreams that would leave me trembling in my bed, drenched in sweat, and too terrified to close my eyes again. My parents were worried, of course. They tried everything they could think of to help me. We saw doctors, therapists, even spiritual healers. My mother burned sage in my room, filling it with the scent of earth and herbs. My father hung talismans over my bed, ancient symbols meant to ward off evil spirits. But nothing seemed to work. The nightmares continued, relentless and unyielding, as if something from beyond this world had set its sights on me. One night, after yet another episode that had me screaming in my sleep, my father sat down beside me on my bed. He was a pragmatic man, not one to dabble in the spiritual or the supernatural. But that night, he said something that I'll never forget. "The next time you see them, the next time those things come for you in your dreams," he said, his voice steady and calm, "tell them you're not scared, tell them they don't control you." At the time, it seemed like a strange thing to say. Everyone knows that you can't control yourself in a dream, right? We're at the mercy of our subconscious, floating through whatever scenarios our minds conjure up, helpless to do anything but react. But the way my dad said it, there was something almost otherworldly about it, like someone or something had spoken through him. I wondered if a higher power, a spiritual force, had guided him to give me that advice. The first time I tried to follow his advice, I failed miserably. In my dream, the familiar horrors appeared, shapeless, faceless beings that exuded malice and darkness. They laughed when I tried to stand up to them, a sound that reverberated through the dream, mocking and terrifying. I woke up shaking, drenched in fear, but I didn't give up. I kept trying, night after night. Every time the nightmares returned, I told myself that I wasn't afraid, that they couldn't hurt me. And then, one night something changed. The nightmare began as usual with the shadows closing in, but this time, instead of cowering in fear, I managed to push back. I focused all my will on a single thought. I am not afraid. To my surprise, the shadows hesitated as if they were uncertain, and then, as if by magic, I felt a shift within the dream. I was no longer just a passive observer, I could control it. I imagined a sword in my hand, and there it was, glowing with a light that banished the darkness around me. The beings in my dream recoiled, their laughter silenced, and for the first time in my life, I felt a sense of power, of control. From that moment on, everything changed. The nightmares didn't stop immediately, but they started to lose their grip on me. I began to experiment within my dreams, testing the limits of my newfound abilities. I discovered that if I slept on my back, with my belly up, I would have more vivid dreams, sometimes nightmares, but more often, dreams where I could exert control. These weren't nightmares anymore. They were adventures. The shadows no longer had power over me, and the fear that had once gripped me so tightly was gone. It was through these experiences that I started to believe that dreams aren't just dreams. There's something more, something connected to another reality, another world. What if, I began to wonder, what if dreams are a doorway? What if they're a bridge to a parallel universe, a place where the rules of our waking world don't apply? Part 2. The Techniques of Lucid Dreaming. As I continued to explore the possibilities within my dreams, I became fascinated by the concept of lucid dreaming, the ability to become aware that you're dreaming, and then take control of the dream. I started to research techniques to induce lucid dreams, eager to push the boundaries of what I could do within the dream world. Here are some of the methods that helped me unlock the full potential of my dreams. 1. Reality checks. One of the simplest techniques for inducing lucid dreams is performing reality checks throughout the day. I would often ask myself, am I dreaming? While looking at my hands, checking a clock, or trying to push my finger through my palm. In a dream, reality often behaves strangely. Text may shift, your hands may appear distorted, or your finger might pass through your hand. By making this a habit while awake, it carried over into my dreams, allowing me to realize when I was dreaming. 2. Dream journaling. Keeping a dream journal was another crucial step. Every morning, I would write down everything I could remember about my dreams, no matter how fragmented or bizarre. This practice helped me recognize recurring themes and symbols in my dreams, which in turn made it easier to realize when I was dreaming. Over time, I became more familiar with the dream world, which made it easier to take control. 3. Mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. Mild. This technique involves setting an intention before going to sleep. I would tell myself, the next time I'm dreaming, I will remember that I'm dreaming. By repeating this mantra as I drifted off to sleep, I trained my mind to recognize the dream state. Combined with reality checks and dream journaling, this method significantly increased my chances of having a lucid dream. 4. Wake back to bed, WBTB. This technique involves waking up after about 5 hours of sleep, staying awake for a short period, and then going back to sleep. The idea is that by interrupting the sleep cycle, you increase the likelihood of entering REM sleep, the stage of sleep where dreams are most vivid, while still partially conscious. This technique, paired with mild, proved to be incredibly effective for me. With these techniques, I was able to achieve lucid dreams more consistently, and I began to explore the dream world with a sense of purpose. I could fly, manipulate the environment, and even summon people or objects. But as I delved deeper into the world of lucid dreaming, I started to notice something strange, something that couldn't be explained by the science of sleep alone. Part 3. The door to the parallel universe. It started with subtle differences, small details in my dreams that didn't match the logic of my subconscious. For example, I would dream of places I had never been, with architecture and landscapes that were completely unfamiliar. I would meet people who seemed to know me, but I had no memory of them. At first, I dismissed these as quirks of the dream world, products of my mind's imagination. But then, the dreams started to change. One night I found myself standing in a vast open field under a sky that shimmered with colors I had never seen before. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the scent of flowers that didn't exist on Earth. In the distance, I could see a city unlike any I had ever known, with towers that seemed to defy gravity and streets that glowed with an inner light. As I walked through this city, I realized that everything felt too real, too vivid to be just a dream. The people I encountered spoke in a language I didn't understand, yet somehow, I knew what they were saying. They greeted me with smiles, as if they had been expecting me. It was then that I began to suspect that I wasn't just dreaming. I was visiting another world, another reality. Could it be that lucid dreaming was more than just a manipulation of my subconscious? Could it be that I had found a way to access a parallel universe, a place that existed alongside our own, but was governed by different rules? The more I explored, the more convinced I became. In this parallel universe, I discovered cities, landscapes, and people that seemed to belong to a different time and place, somewhere just beyond the reach of our waking world. And it wasn't just one place, it was many, as if I was visiting different layers of reality, each one slightly different from the last. Sometimes the differences were subtle, like the color of the sky or the way gravity worked. Other times they were profound, entire civilizations that existed in ways I could barely comprehend. One recurring figure in these dreams was a woman who called herself Lyra. She was tall and ethereal, with eyes that glowed like twin stars. She would often appear when I was on the verge of losing control of the dream, guiding me back with a gentle touch or a whispered word. Lyra told me that she was from this parallel universe, a traveler between worlds, and that I had somehow managed to cross over into her reality through my dreams. "You are different," she said to me one night, her voice like a melody in the air. "Most humans dream only of their own world, their own fears and desires. But you have opened a door that connects your world to mine. You are a traveler, like me." Lyra explained that the dream world was not just a figment of our imagination, it was a bridge, a conduit between different realities. Those who could control their dreams, who could achieve lucidity, had the potential to step through this bridge and explore other worlds, other dimensions. But with this power came responsibility. Not all travelers are kind, Lyra warned. Some seek to exploit the connections between worlds, to take what does not belong to them. Be careful, for the door you have opened swings both ways. Inspired by Lyra's words, I began to refine my techniques not just for lucid dreaming but for traveling to parallel universes. The following methods help me enhance my abilities and explore these otherworldly realms with greater clarity and purpose. 1. Anchoring. In order to ensure that I could find my way back to the parallel universe I had visited before, I began to use an anchoring technique. Before going to sleep, I would focus on a specific object or symbol from that world, a building, a landscape, or a person like Lyra. By visualizing this anchor as I fell asleep, I increased my chances of returning to the same place in my dreams. 2. Meditative breathing. To deepen my lucidity and maintain control within the dream, I practiced meditative breathing. By focusing on slow, deep breaths, I was able to calm my mind and remain aware even as I explored the dream world. This technique also helped me stay grounded, preventing the dream from slipping into chaos or randomness. 3. The dream map. I began to map out the different worlds I visited, keeping a detailed journal of each place, its unique features, and the people I met. This map became a valuable tool, allowing me to navigate the dream world more effectively and recognize when I was in a new or familiar parallel universe. 4. Lucid reminders. Throughout the day, I would remind myself that I was dreaming, even when I was awake. This constant reinforcement made it easier to recognize when I was dreaming, giving me greater control over the experience. The more I practiced this, the more seamless the transition between waking and dreaming became. As I honed these techniques, my travels to the parallel universes became more frequent and more vivid. I explored worlds that were both beautiful and terrifying, places where the laws of physics didn't apply and where time flowed differently. I met beings that were beyond human understanding, creatures of light, energy, and shadow. But with each journey, I also became more aware of the dangers that Lyra had warned me about. Not every parallel universe was welcoming. Some were filled with darkness, with entities that seemed drawn to the light of my consciousness, eager to consume or corrupt it. These were the nightmares I had once feared, but now, armed with the knowledge and power of lucid dreaming, I was able to confront them head-on. Part 5. The Revelation. One night, after what felt like an eternity of exploring, I found myself back in the city where I'd first met Lyra. She was waiting for me, her expression serious. "You have come far," she said, "but there is something you must understand. The door you have opened, it is not just a passage for you, it is a connection between worlds, and it can affect both realities. You have the power to bring things back with you, but also to leave things behind." I was puzzled. "What do you mean?" Lyra gestured to the city around us. "Your world and mine, they are linked now, through you. The choices you make, the things you do here, they have consequences not just for you but for all of us. You must be careful, for there are forces in your world that would seek to exploit this connection." Her words weighed heavily on me. I had always seen lucid dreaming as a personal experience, a way to explore and understand myself, but now I realized that it was so much more. The parallel universe was real, and my actions within it had real consequences. Lyra continued, "There are others like you, others who have opened doors to their own worlds. Some use this power wisely, but others seek to conquer, to dominate. You must be vigilant, for the balance between worlds is fragile." With that, Lyra handed me a small glowing orb. "This is a token of our trust, a reminder of the connection between our worlds. Keep it safe, and it will guide you when you need it most." I took the orb, feeling its warmth in my hand, and nodded. "I'll be careful," I promised. And with that, the dream ended, and I awoke in my bed, the memory of Lyra's words echoing in my mind. Part 6. The Future of Dreaming. Since that night, I've continued to explore the parallel universe through my lucid dreams, always mindful of the responsibilities that come with this power. I've shared my experiences with others, teaching them the techniques that have helped me unlock the door to these other worlds. And while some remain skeptical, I know in my heart that dreams are more than just figments of our imagination. They are gateways, bridges to other realities that exist just beyond our reach. If there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that we are capable of so much more than we realize. Our minds are powerful, and the boundaries between what is real and what is imagined are not as solid as we've been led to believe. Lucid dreaming is not just a tool for self-discovery, it's a means of exploration, a way to connect with the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. So the next time you close your eyes and drift off to sleep, remember that you hold the key to a door that leads to unimaginable worlds. All you have to do is open it.